Hello, ELA A10 students. Mr. Judge here. Just figured to be a really good time for us before you dive into the novel Fahrenheit 451 to think a little bit about the genre itself. Today I've just got a little bit of a slides presentation here. Going to go through it with you, kind of share my thoughts. This video is, of course, within the assignment because you've opened it, but so is the slides presentation itself if you want to print it off as notes for yourself or save a copy for you for later. So, um, genre. We use that word a lot in English classes, but what it really means is that it's a type of something. So, for instance, there are many genres of creative writing. There are many genres of music. There are many genres of novels. In the case of novels, there are lots of them. Historical fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, science fiction. These are all genres. So when we have a new note called genre study, which I hope you're taking one right now, I want you to think about all the definitions and explanations that you're seeing and put them in your own words if you can. That's a great strategy to use. Here are some questions we're going to tackle today. What is speculative fiction? What is science fiction? And how are these two types of fiction similar or different? So, speculative fiction, if you define it, is a genre of fiction that encompasses works in which the setting is other than the real world, involving supernatural, futuristic, or other imagined elements. So, even within that definition, if you look at some of the words, including supernatural or futuristic, it would seem that speculative fiction kind of mixes in the same pool as fantasy or science fiction. So, just keep that in mind. But I mean, really, what an author is asking you to think when you read a work of speculative fiction, they're asking you as the reader, what if the world worked by doing this, or the world worked in this way? The reason why they're asking the what if, and that's what makes something speculative, is because they want you to think about the potential for both success and disaster. Same question, but asked in kind of a different way. What if people were able to do this or this? Probably because the world worked this way or another way. So, what if people were able to, you know, kill without consequence? Or what if people were able to get past, differences in race and gender? Those types of speculative fiction works are really important because they show us the benefits of positive change and or they show us how we're being held back by some of the things that we're doing wrong in society. Science fiction is a little bit different. So let's just go through the definition. Fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. But not always, right? That's something to keep in mind. So, in other words, the author asks the reader, what if we put characters in the future and, digital technology was common? Or what if we put characters in space and transportation technology was common, or you know, gamma rays technology was common, or laser technology was common. I mean, really, you can go down the Star Trek route with this if you wanted to. The cool thing about the definition in this prompt is that um, you're taking characters and putting them in a world, or characters exist within a world that is far from our own, but we're still able to draw on commonalities of their behavior and their feelings because those things transcend time and place. So that's the cool part about science fiction. I don't know Luke Skywalker personally. I've never been to Tatooine as a planet, but I can tell you this from having watched Star Wars, I can connect with his sense of disappointment in his familial past or his family's past. I can tell you that I connect totally with the idea of having to leave my home in order to find my identity. So, although science fiction might present things, settings, characters, conflicts that might at first seem really foreign, the cool thing about them is that they often highlight some of the things we already know really well. So now you're asking, probably, can a novel be both speculative and science fiction? Yeah, of course. Think about all the examples you've probably encountered, right? Terminator, great example. It doesn't matter if it's Terminator 1, 2, 3, 4, or probably 10 by now. They're taking characters who exist within a world whereby time travel is possible. So there's your science fiction element. Um, but it's also a world wherein there's been a great deal of trust put into robotics. So that's the what if. What if we entrusted robots with our future and brought artificial intelligence to life? The Matrix has the what if in terms of both the science fiction and that there is a future world in which people have been enslaved by robots, but the what if comes in the backstory of that. So really keep in mind that both things kind of exist together. So I want you to go back to the assignment now in our Google Classroom, and I want you to share your experience as a viewer or reader with one of these genres, because I think that's really important for you to immediately make that personal connection. And I think when you read the connections of others, you're going to be pretty interested, because you'll probably see one's texts or um, films that you've already seen or read, and you'll realize that quite a few probably fall in one of these two categories. So have a good one, and I'll talk to you again soon.